Yeah, Dan, we won Origin, baby.
What are you talking about?
The women's game, the one that counts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws. Dan, do we have some footy to talk about? Brought to you by the Inappropriate T-shirt company. Let's start off with the Brisbane Broncos today announcing they're backflipping on two of their players.
Look, one hand doesn't know what the other's doing in Bris Vegas, and I, for one, am very much on board.
I think it's more of the fact that there haven't been some significant bites for Matt Lodge and Tavita Pangai Jr. You know, it was all talk that West Tigers were the favourites to sign him, and if West had a clear run, why hasn't he gone there?
Well, that's a good point. Perhaps he doesn't want to, maybe.
Perhaps he figured out that maybe Brisbane is better for him than the Tigers.
Says a lot. Look, I think common sense prevailed because you get rid of him now. It doesn't really achieve anything. There's no players to spend that cap space on. There's no players that are begging to be picked because they would be picked.
Yeah.
I just think they're going, we'll see how they go the rest of the season. Plus, as if you'd signed Pangai, he's out for the next 8 weeks.
And I understand that there's no significant takers on Matt Lodge, and that has more to do with his past, because if you're talking about his on-field performances, he'd be one of the first props signed.
It's just part and parcel of Lodge, and he's only got himself to blame, which is, the way it is. It is what it is.
I get that. But Ben Eichen now coming in there as their new head of football or whatever, and he wants to sign Kurt Capewell. I just don't think they have any direction in the way that they want to go. So they'll probably leave it till the end of the year, and then there's a fire sale up in Brisbane.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they got to figure out. They're not going to make the 8 now. It's all about next year.
Yeah.
Maybe Ben Eichen is the answer.
There's some teams with some significant cap space that will be waiting to see what happens with that Broncos side. Absolutely. And you're probably going to have a look at them now. Instead of rushing out into the market, they'll just pick up a development player option, so that way they've got that excess cash.
Yeah, makes sense too.
Absolutely, it does. The big one. COVID's back.
Unfortunate, mate.
It is, and there's no crowds in Sydney this weekend.
No, there isn't, which is a real shame. The calls were to take games out west.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, New South Wales is pretty much shut down at the moment. Unless you can get everyone on a plane, get them to Townsville, book out all the hotels, get the TV crews up there in a couple of days, I think it's just the easy option.
Man, another Magic Round would have been sick, though.
Well, that's what everyone was, myself was calling for. This time in Townsville, they proved they can do it with Origin. Tent City comes back, perhaps. Look, we just don't know where we're at right now. It's a real shame because those games are very difficult to watch.
Yeah, and there's some blockbuster games this weekend that we will pick later on.
Absolutely.
Nathan Cleary.
Hey, he has won Origin. He's done what he set out to do. Looks like 3 weeks, so he may miss Origin 3.
Yeah, someone else just said online that it could be longer than 3 weeks, could be 6 weeks, could be the season. If it's the season, there's two things that have happened in that. Penrith can't win the comp. Melbourne have been handed on a silver platter.
Yeah, just write it off now. Might as well not play. You might fatty Vorten the rest of the competition, Look, it's a shame because I really like Cleary, but in terms of other teams like ours winning the comp, it's not so bad.
I don't want to read this next one out, so I'll leave it over to you.
If the Australian team is getting picked tomorrow, do any Queenslanders make the side?
Out of principle, they'll pick a couple. But out of performances, you couldn't.
Now, on form, there's not a single player that will get in. Look, the only player that will get in at the moment that it's a lock is Cam Munster.
He's a 5'8". Look, I think there would be 2, perhaps 3, just on the way that when the Australian sides were picked when the Queensland was the dominant side. There were a couple in there. I would say that if he hadn't declared for Samoa, Josh Papali'i would have been a walk-up start because of, as you said, in the past of what he'd done. Christian Welsh would be a smoky as well. There would be no David Fifita. There would be no Tino either.
Absolutely not. No, and there wouldn't be anyone 1 to 6. Look, Val Holmes might have played himself out of a position.
Kyle Felt's definitely not making it.
Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
Zero tackle talking point.
I love it.
Mate, all the talk coming out of Origin 2 has been, is this the most dominant Origin side of all time?
No. It's absolutely not. It hasn't won 8 in a row. It's won 1 series. It's probably the most dominant series that we have. Well, it's definitely the most dominant series we have seen.
It is. It is literally going to be 100-10.
Yeah.
In terms of a 3-game series, I don't think you can argue. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is pure. This is a cheat code. We'll talk about it off air.
Yeah.
The names in that New South Wales 1 to 7 are ridiculous.
And I mean, who's your weakest link in that back line? Is it Luai or Toto?
Well,
I'll take both of them.
There you go. Both would walk into the Queensland side.
And walk through it.
You're exactly right, though. They need to win 3-0. They
Yeah.
need to sweep the series. They need to sweep it well. If they win the next game 11-10, and no one remembers, series is won. In terms of pure dominance, they need to 3 or 4 in a row before we even start thinking about that.
Yeah, look, and that dominant Queensland team of the 8 in a row only swept it once.
Yeah, so it's very hard to do.
It doesn't matter about the sweep, but the performances, mate. I can't remember anything like it. I know Queensland won a game 52-6 when they were on fire, but yeah, look, it's been painful watching, and I don't know how you guys have felt for the last 10 years of Origin.
Terry,
talk to me, Dan.
Let's talk some black, white and blue, mate.
Let's talk some Sharks. That's what I love doing.
Strange news, perhaps, coming out this week that Shaun Johnson is leaving the club for the Warriors.
Yeah, look, if he was going to go anywhere, I'm glad he is going back home. I didn't really want him to go to like a Canberra or a Bulldogs and just continue that what if. If he's going to go home and ruin his career, just let it happen.
Might as well be a nice story about it.
Yeah.
Look, we knew this was coming for a few weeks. Caught me off guard though when he signed.
Yeah, it really did. He's over in New Zealand. He went there and pitched his case back to the club. They've talked to the senior players about it. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck turned around and said, you need to bring him back.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty excited to see him work with Reece Walsh.
Yeah, look, it's going to be fun. It's going to be very handsome too, just quietly.
Oh, yeah.
Look, during the last year, I think it was, early this year, the senior players evidently said they don't want Johnson back. He's going to walk in like, well, it's my team now, baby. Good on him.
Yeah, look, I'm still in shock that we decided to walk away from what I feel is arguably the perfect partner for Nico Hines, which now leads me to believe that Craig Fitzgibbon has to have a bigger and better plan for us.
Oh, he's got a plan B and a plan C, absolutely. You've been a bit of a shame because we had unashamed Johnson fans.
Yeah, Shaun Johnson's one of my favourite players, and he's one of the rare players that just gets you up out of your seat.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe that was 5 years ago, Shaun Johnson, but I still harbour that. That's how I remember Shaun Johnson.
Absolutely.
And to be fair, he hasn't let us down since he's been here. He's been our player of the year.
He's dragged us to a couple of final series that we otherwise would never have made.
Yeah, and we didn't deserve to get to. Look, all the best, Shaun, but just get us that number 2.
Yeah, just, premiership.
Yeah.
No pressure.
We'll forgive you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, just, while we've been recording this, some news came out that the QRL have said the most obvious decision about not bringing a team in for expansion, but they want to talk about relocation. They're saying it's the Sharks. Whew. I'll leave this to you at the moment.
I don't agree.
No, I guess they need to have a successful team up in Queensland.
Well, perhaps they want to make the 8 because none of their sides are making finals this year.
Absolutely not.
Just no teams relocating. It's not happening anymore. TV deals are in. If they pull a side out of Sydney, those fans are gone.
Yeah.
No rusted-on fans are going to go, you know what, I'll go support South or St George. They're nice and close. No, they're lost to the game. You got to create new fan bases. Either make a team or stop talking about this. Seems every year.
But I thought Peter Valinas came out and said there's definitely going to be a 17th team, and it was going to be a second Brisbane team. So why do you need to relocate a side?
Again, I don't know what each other's doing. No one talks to each other. It's like, this will make a good soundbite. This will get us on the front page. No, you're not having the Sharks.
I do have to agree with what Paul Kent said, though, and he said it doesn't make any sense to move Cronulla. You would want to move St George because they're not a major...
Oh, they can have the Dragon.
Yeah, they're not a major Sydney town, whereas Cronulla is a major Sydney town. Yeah. We've also got the Shire. They've got Carlton.
Yeah, they can have... We'll throw the Tigers in too.
And we would just absorb that area. So I don't mind that. But, again, I don't want to see any Sydney teams go apart from West.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That would be nice.
West Brisbane Tigers? Has a ring to it.
Whatever. Look, last night, I didn't enjoy Origin at all. But if there was one thing I did enjoy... It was New South Wales defence.
Fantastic.
Who's the defensive coach?
Craig Fitzgibbon.
Sir Fitz of Gibbon.
Must be a coincidence, perhaps.
Yeah. Look, you and I were talking off air about, if he can just do a 10th of that at Cronulla, we're incredibly better.
Yeah, we are, because we can't defend at the moment. We haven't for a couple of years. So that'd be nice.
Here's what I want to see with Craig Fitzgibbon is, at the Roosters, we've seen him be an incredible defensive coach. At New South Wales level, we've seen him be an incredible defensive coach. True. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes and takes that Australian defensive coach job. But him being able to implement his entire ideas, get an attack-minded coach to work with him and Josh Hannay, I'm salivating. It's like there's a pizza in front of me right now.
This is fantastic. This is what we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. People starting to realise that perhaps Sir Fitzgibbon is the answer after all.
And it's all that board talk, we're back in the 8. We're seeing what Craig Fitzgibbon can do.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
it's gone quiet.
Our marquee signing is arguably the form player of the competition at the moment. And he's handsome.
Fun. Oh, handsome as sin. It's good fun.
I tell you what I can't wait for next year though, Dan. Nico Hines' long hair next to Craig Fitzgibbon's bald head.
Oh, I know. That'll make for some fun press conferences.
That will. And some handsome, like Craig Fitzgibbon is.
Oh, he's the best, the greatest. We need a statue out the front of Shark Park. All these renovations included.
Now, we're having a lot of fun, but let's talk about something that wasn't fun. Ronaldo Mulatalo's dream was taken away from him.
Yeah, the way this came about, someone on Twitter pointed it out. That's embarrassing on so many levels.
Yeah, the more that it's been looked into, the more that we've seen the journalists have, uncovered that Ronaldo didn't tick that he was a Queenslander in his first 2 contracts.
He's embarrassed.
Look, he probably was. But at the time when he was ticking it, we were winning Origins. So, unless he saw into the future.
Perhaps. Pretty good.
Pretty good. But, look, I think the fact that he was in the camp, he has played 18 and 20s, it wasn't going to affect the game.
No, it wasn't. The fact he was suited up, named, and getting ready to run out, and they grabbed it from him. Yeah. If it had happened where he was selected and they went, oh, no, wait a minute, and looked into it, okay, that, so be it. Rules are rules. But, part of me wanted New South Wales to go, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Look,
I don't know if they got that power. But
there was a couple of tries last night that he probably would have scored that Kyle Felt bombed.
Well, definitely. It would have been. I think New South Wales would have kicked on more. So it was good work, Ronaldo. Mate, I'm heartbroken for the kid. Though.
I am
so lovable.
But when you see that he withdrew himself as well because he didn't want the distraction for his team.
Years above his maturity.
Yeah. Look, he'll be back there for game 3. They'll sort his eligibility out. He'll get it. He'll run from the back fence. He'll bleed for Queensland. He'll score a try. Watch out Brisbane this week, though, because I'm going to pick Mulatalo to be man of the match.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be defending against him.
And, we're speaking about Brisbane. We're playing the Broncos this weekend.
We need to win, and we need to win big. This is the sort of game that has cost us in the past.
Yep.
Bulldogs.
Yeah,
can't be a repeat.
We've won 3 games and improved our for and against by 4. We need to probably win this game by a good 10 to 16 points.
Yeah, these are the sort of games. And Brisbane, who knows who they're going to pick in the halves? They're probably going to pick who's an AFL player.
Well, the talk was that Brodie Croft trained at half this weekend, which is Queensland's version of Chad Townsend. Please let that happen.
Please wait. Look, I still think he's their best option, to be honest.
Yeah, I think him and Albert Kelly probably is. Milford didn't train, so he's still got the knee injury. Carmichael Hunt didn't train, which may give weight to Katoni Staggs, but everything I read said that he trained at right centre today with Jermaine Azarko at wing, which means they're going to bring in a new fullback.
Another one, 15th in a row. Look, mate, if we don't win this game, it's going to be...
Who knows what they're going to do? Tessie New's probably going to go to fullback. He's not really all that good, so... Oh, God.
Sharks...
Yeah, I tipped it before. I can't remember how many I tipped them by, but let's just go with that. I think Sharks by 10.
Sharks by 10. Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
As you may or may not know, we have a series of famous viewers at the show. Former UFC fighter Benny Blanco. I heard we've gone triple platinum in Guam.
Nice.
But 2GB's Chris Smith, coincidentally a South fan. Remember when
they lost 2 games by 50.
Can't win the premiership times too.
Nope.
Has agreed to come on and talk some Origin. Mate, Chris, Origin last night. What are your thoughts?
G'day guys, good to be with you. No more jokes about South, please. We are sitting third and looking pretty, don't you worry about that. My impressions of last night was just how dominant New South Wales has been in 2 games, but in particular 2 games played both in Queensland. And even when you think back to that long streak the Queenslanders had with the likes of Cronk and Greg Inglis and Cameron Smith and Billy Slater, I can't remember a time when that side racked up 70-odd points after 2 games and only allowed in 1 try. If you remember through that period, New South Wales would lose the clutch moments in the latter parts of the game and we'd say how close we came. It was a different setup. I think the difference between Queensland and New South Wales is the ability to change momentum, and they did that so often last night, but at the end of the day, for 90% of the game, the momentum was entirely on the side of New South Wales. I thought Turbo, of course, played well, but I thought Cameron Murray cleaned up So much stuff in the middle of, I would say that, of course, being South Sydney supporter, but I thought he cleaned up so much in the middle part of the ruck defensively. I thought he had a sensational game.
Hey Chris, we understand you're a big South fan, so I just want to get your point of view on Latrell Mitchell's season to date.
Yeah, I reckon he's had probably his best year. You think about what he's been up to this year with South Sydney. He's had to play fullback. All those times when he played for the Roosters, he played in the centre. It's not as an arduous position to play as opposed to fullback. So when you think about what he's done for South Sydney, coming back from that terrible hamstring injury he suffered against Parramatta last year, and then backing up and being such a pivotal player in terms of those first two State of Origin games, what a year. His greatest year ever. And look, it's not a question of whether he should be a fullback or he can't be a fullback. He wants to play fullback. And if you want to make Latrell Mitchell happy, you're probably better off putting him in the position he really wants to play. And he mightn't be able to do the metres that a slimmer fullback would be able to do, like Tedesco, but he does enough to make an impression on a game. And look at the momentum he changed last night in State of Origin. For me, he was close enough to the man of the match, probably number 2 or 3. But yeah, having a great season. Good to be on your program.
Thanks so much for coming on, mate. Catch him on 2GB and go the Bunny.
Nah,
go the Sharks.
Go Sharks. Dan, it's time for some top sport tips.
Favourite time of the week, Terry?
My bank account is looking really good at the moment. Yeah, we're flying.
Cleaning up.
Flying with cash, so let's bring it
Do you know
on.
last night Top Sport had $5 special on Queensland? So if you bet $10 on Queensland...
You lost $10.
You lost $10.
Very good. I saw what you were doing with that one from a mile away.
That's right.
All right, let's preview the first game, Dan. Roosters versus Storm. Now, before I ask you anything, I need to ask you this question. Is this on Thursday night?
Yes, I believe
we
it
have
is.
Thursday night footy back then.
Roosters in the Storm, mate. Played in front of no fans.
Yeah, as usual. For you, who are you going?
Melbourne, by plenty. I think Melbourne are the team to beat.
Yeah, I definitely think Melbourne are going to win this. I think their Origin stars are going to be really rested because they got a lot of rest behind the
They
goalposts.
certainly did. Papenhuyzen is on the way back, which is good.
Not this week. There was a report in between round 16 to 20.
Well, he's going to be rested for the finals. Probably going to go back to back in terms of play of the match.
And the best thing about this is we get to see more Nico Hines. I'm going to pick him to have a big game. He's going to score a try and he's going to set up 3 and Melbourne are going to win 13 plus easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably by
Fair call.
halftime. Friday, 6 o'clock, Warriors versus Dragons. I don't mind this game in this time slot because it's not one that you really want to see. Has the makings to be a cracking game though.
It really does. I don't know whether Reece Walsh will play. He was genuinely injured, which you don't see often from Queensland.
No.
Injury reports. Young blokes looks like he might miss a week or two, which is a real shame. I hope he plays because the Warriors need a win.
Yeah, look, and one thing that you need to say about this is the last time Chad Townsend played first grade was against the Dragons, kicked a field goal to win the game.
Oh, that's right.
Chad Townsend is playing for the Warriors.
Is there a repeat?
Probably. I'm going to pick the Warriors to win this game. It's going to be close, but I'll pick them to win. The Dragons, 2 up and down for mine. This is going to be one of their down weeks.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, not a bad replacement at fullback, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun game. Look forward to this.
Absolutely.
I
And
miss rugby league this week.
so bad. Friday night, it should be a blockbuster now, and I think even more so now that Nathan Cleary has been ruled out. It brings the Panthers back to probably the Eels level.
It certainly does. Real shame because this was a genuine sellout.
Yeah.
We were going to see a lot of fans.
But
it's just
if any fan base deserves misery and nice things taken away from them, it's Penrith. So
Can't argue that.
I absolutely cannot argue. Now, we speak about handy replacements with Walsh leaving and injured and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck going. Nathan Cleary's out and they're going to move Matt Burton into the halves, into his favourite spot. I think Luai will play halfback.
Halfback, absolutely right. Look, the Dogs are the big winners here because every game that Burton plays in the halves with a decent side is a game closer to playing with a not so decent side, but becoming a better player, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, look, he had 2 weeks in the halves where he was surrounded by Bulldogs calibre players and he scored a lot of tries. So
He did. He learned he had to do it himself. Which
Yeah.
is good practice.
look, with Cleary out, and I think with the emotional origin of the Panthers, I'm going to pick the Eels in an upset.
I think Penrith win based on they've come in from Origin and they just won't lose in the next few weeks because they don't play the Sharks.
Fair play. Saturday, the start of our Super Saturday, Dogs versus Manly. 10 years ago, this would have been a game that you would have set your alarm clock for. probably do some washing and some ironing and come back and see that Manly's won by 40.
How do you spell Shaylact? Because that's what the doggies are copping this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a turbo masterclass.
I reckon he might rest.
Nah, I don't think so.
Why would you waste him? Why would you risk his hammy in this game?
Look, he didn't really do much against Queens. Like, he scored a nice try, I get that. But it was a very quiet game from Turbo, quiet 200 metres or whatever. Yeah, only 8.5 out of 10. I think he'll play. I think he'll carve the Dogs up.
Yeah, I don't see this going any other way.
5:30, Raiders versus Titans. Interesting game.
Yeah, it's another good game, I think. Look, the Titans, I'm ready to write them off. They're not so good.
Look, I'm ready to write the Raiders off as well.
There you go, let's
Can
go.
we pick the first draw of the season? No. I don't think the Titans have enough.
No, Canberra win.
Yeah, they don't. The Titans don't have any heart, any want. Their season's just about done. I think if you cop 40 from Cronulla, it's out.
Look, 10 weeks ago, we were talking about...
Them in the finals.
Yeah, and the two signings of the year. I would say Dave Fafita is perhaps the most disappointing signing of the year now.
Yeah, and I'll see that Dave Fafita and race Tina.
It's a real shame. Canberra for mine in a close one.
Yeah.
Should be a good game.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be good. I don't think it'll be entertaining. It'll be just a typical Canberra game. It'll be boring. And to round off your Super Saturday, God, this is an awful Super Saturday this week. The Knights versus the Cowboys. Do the Knights get fans?
They do. They're out. They're just above the Central Coast, I believe, is the cut-off, which is good, but they're at 15,000, I hear, just under half.
Yeah, that's fair.
15,000 still a lot of fans.
The Hunter haven't done anything wrong, so they probably deserve their fans to be there.
But they have to welcome the Cowboys, which is punishment enough.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Knights to win this game.
Yeah, me too. Quite convincingly.
Yeah, again, the Cowboys are another team I'm ready to write off.
Yeah, done.
Now, Super Sunday. This is
Game
what
of the
we're
round.
waiting
Game of the
for.
round.
The Broncos and the Sharks.
Mate, everything reads big Cronulla win. Broncos by 10.
No, everything reads big Cronulla win, and Cronulla will get out to that big lead and then get dragged back into a dogfight. I think Cronulla win by about 10 points.
Yeah, or 4.
Yeah, Tony Starry's back for the Broncos.
Yeah, look, that'd be exciting. He's probably going to play 6 from what I hear.
Well, no, I read today that he's going to be on the right wing. He trained at right centre, and Jermaine Azarko was outside him. No, look, there's plenty of talk about he's only going to be on one leg as he rushed it back. Should he have come back this season? Yeah, absolutely should. He's an entertaining player. He's up against Will Chambers, so he's going to cop something nasty in a tackle.
Yeah, this could be fun.
I'm picking Cronulla to win by about 10 points though.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and to round off your Sunday afternoon, you will watch the Tigers get flogged by South Sydney. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by Punctured Media. Don't forget to jump on all the socials, like and subscribe, trash us in the comments. We love it. We get back to you, Dan.
76-6, baby.